Well, hello there. How are you, friend? Welcome back on the show. How are things? Everything is warm and green here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's almost Easter when I'm recording this, so it's exciting. All the Easter eggs and bunnies. Life is going really well. I hope everything is great with you as well. My masterminders, my mastermind members are making their first million in a startup practice. How exciting! They're hiring associates, they're working fewer hours. We are kicking butt over here around No Stress DDS. How are you doing, my dear listener? Today, we're going to talk about how to hire your staff members so simply and easily. That's what I'm going to teach you today. Hiring, if you're a practice owner, at some point you will need to hire staff members. They will either leave or you have to let them go. And so it's inevitable to hire new people. And if you're new to this practice ownership job, gig, I was going to say, that you may think, what's the big deal with hiring people? And if you've been at it for a couple of years or a couple of decades, you're probably rolling your eyes when you think about hiring. And today I'll teach you how to do it very easily. That will make your life so much happier. So maybe your front desk just quit, or maybe you're trying to have a baby and you need to hire an associate, or maybe you just seem to never have enough staff. Like people are just sick. Multiple people are sick at your office. And so you just never have enough staff. By the way, if that's the case, then you are actually short staffed. The practice consultants will tell you that there's a certain ratio of revenue, how much money you need to produce, and when you need to hire an assistant, how many chairs you have, how many patients you have. There's all this math, but what they don't account is sometimes the people factor, right? Sometimes your staff, multiple people are getting sick, and sometimes it's not just one-off, but it seems to be a pattern, a theme. In those cases, even if according to numbers of the practice consultant, you have enough staff, I think you are understaffed. You don't have enough staff. Sometimes it's nice to be a little bit overstaffed so that for those times when multiple people call in sick, you're just enough staffed. So if that's the case, then you will need to hire new people, more people. And I'm here to help you. What's the big deal with hiring if you're a new practice owner? Most of you guys hire and me, we go on Indeed to put an ad. There are multiple other places, but the first thing that everybody seems to be thinking is Indeed. And a lot of the time we get a lot of applicants. I just coached somebody, she got over 100, 120 applications for a front desk person. And when you get busy in your practice, or if you are already a busy practice owner, it's a lot, right? Like, oh my God, on top of everything I have to deal with, now I have all these hundreds of applications to go through. So many practice owners keep their underperforming employees longer than they should because they don't want to go through the hassle of hiring somebody new. And I'm going to teach you a 4-step method how to hire somebody very simply and very quickly so that you can cut your losses and not be unpleasantly surprised if somebody gives you 2-week notice, because you can hire somebody else very quickly and very easily. All right, let's dive in. So we talked about what we're focusing on today, how to hire somebody easily. When you want to do this, you want to hire somebody when you have an underperforming employee, or maybe they just give you a notice. Let's go ahead and start hiring. And here's how you do it. First thing is I want you to sit down and think about your absolute non-negotiables for this position. Be very honest with yourself and write down how much do you want to pay them. Honestly, how much your practice can afford or what feels right for you. Write down that number. Be very clear on their job descriptions. If you want somebody who is doing front desk, but also has clinical experience and can help turn around chairs, this is your non-negotiable. Put it down. Don't think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to find somebody who was going to do this. Just write it down for right now. Okay. So be very honest about the job expectations. If your office is open 5 days a week and you want somebody 5 days a week, but you're afraid that nobody's going to want to work 5 days a week, you have to put it down on a piece of paper. You have to be honest. That is one of your non-negotiables for this position. Okay. Don't compromise just yet. So write down all of these parameters honestly and very directly and clearly. Okay. This is the basis for your ad, for your advertisement on Indeed or other platforms that you'll be using. Okay. So the first step that I see practice owners make mistake in is they are vague in their ad. Their ad is very long. It's very generic, looking for somebody with an outstanding character, an outgoing personality, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, we know, obviously, nobody's looking for a murderer. Yeah, we get it. Like, they cut the fluff is my recommendation and straight shoot to the point. Looking for the front desk, 22 hours, $22 an hour, 40 hours a week, 1 hour lunch break, need back office experience, or we can train them. No benefits. Start immediate. Okay? Be honest. I rather that you get fewer interest and applications that are the right people than you get a mountain of people that thought they were applying for a treatment coordinator position because it was so vague and they just didn't read through all this stuff. So keep it short, keep it very clear, and be very honest in your ad. That's step number 1, your ad. Step number 2, what I see is a lot of you guys create these long and vague ads, and then you put them out on Indeed, and then you get a flood of applicants, a flood of people that a lot of them haven't even read your ad, right? They're just like, click, apply here, interested. And then you start talking to them on the phone, or you're inviting them for an interview, and they're like, I actually, like, my rate is 28, but your ad is 22. You're like, oh, why are you wasting my time? I have to go through this, right? So a lot of people are not reading your ad. And so what I want you to do as a step number 2 is I want you to prepare a questionnaire that's pre-made with yes and no answers that further reinforce your requirements from the ad. Okay, you're with me? So first is it's a very clear and specific, honest ad with requirements. And then the second step, for those who are interested, you just copy paste that questionnaire to ask them, are you available to work 5 days a week? Yes or no? Are you available to, is the rate $22 an hour a good rate for you? Yes or no? Okay. And if you're like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna write that? This is what I give you guys in the mastermind. This is what I help you guys to do in the mastermind, create these checklists and ads. But you can also do this yourself. You can try to do that. You can spend the time and do this yourself. But this is the step number 2 is I want you to just copy paste to all of the applicants that are interested this questionnaire. Hey, thanks for your interest. Please answer yes or no these questions. Boom, 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 a list of questions that's going to further filter or funnel the applicants into the most, what's the word I want to use? The most qualified for this position. Okay. Now you're going to get fewer replies because a lot of people who are like not even paying attention, they're not going to go an extra mile and read those questions and answer yes or no. Now, you want an assistant or a front desk or a treatment coordinator or an office manager that is paying attention, right? That is invested, that is answering the questions. If somebody cannot even answer the questions when you're communicating during the hiring process, this is not a good fit for this position, okay? So this method automatically filters people who are not great for this position. So that's step number 2. You will get some answers from these people who will say, yes, this rate is good for me. These hours are good for me. These requirements are good for me. Great. Step number 3, don't invite them to the office just yet. It's a lot of effort to block off time and talk to them and meet with them. You're very busy. Step number 3 is what I always tell my clients is schedule a video call with these applicants. Plenty of apps now have this option. Indeed has an option for video call. Did you know that? Schedule a video call. Say, hey, I would love to move our conversation further along, and I would like to schedule a video call with you when you're available. These are my dates. Okay. And then what do you do on this video call? Have a checklist for what you're looking for in this applicant. A lot of the times what you guys do is you meet with somebody and the way you hire them is based on, did they show up on time? Do they look clean? They brush their hair, and maybe they brought, I don't know, they don't even bring the diploma. They were nice. They were polite. You're like, okay, you're hired. No, we're going to go a lot deeper than that, right? So I want you to have a checklist of things that you're looking at. And again, if you need a checklist, it's inside of the mastermind. We're enrolling soon in July. This will be available for you, but you can also sit down and think for yourself, okay, this is what I'm looking for. These are the answers I'm looking for, okay? So have that ready. It will make that video go so much easier because you are not reinventing the wheel. Think about your treatments. A lot of you have sequences how you do things, right? This is our treatment sequence. This is how we do things when we prep for a crown, when we do a root canal, when we do extraction case, boom, 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 boom. Next wire, next step, elastics, repositioning. Have the same checklist for a video call with the applicant. And if you've met with them on the video, a lot less time and effort from you to do that than to meet them in person. Highly recommend a video call. And then after the video, those people that you liked and you think are a good potential, then you invite them for in-person interview. Now, what do you do on the in-person interview? Again, I want you to have a checklist of what you're looking for, how you're evaluating in this applicant. Things that I recommend in my masterminders is I recommend that they pre-record certain procedures that they do in the office. Maybe it's sterilization, maybe it's putting away the tray, maybe it's turning around the chair, maybe it's preparing XYZ. Having those videos literally on your phone, doesn't have to be professionally done, totally like recorded on your phone. Send a couple of those videos to the applicant so that you can have a true in-person interview. And then you're judging them. Have they even watched the video? Are they following the instructions? How many questions are they asking? Do they feel prepared? Do they feel comfortable? Right? Have that checklist. So you're literally with a clipboard looking at the applicant or evaluating the applicant when they're in your office. You're not just, because this is what happens, right? The applicant comes for an interview. They go to your office and you're like talking about their childhood. And you're basically evaluating their personality. Personality is just part of their job description, the position, right? Their skills are important, but how can you assess their skills? A lot of us don't do a working interview, or they do an in-person meet and then a work interview. It requires 2 times your attention away from the practice and away from the patients. That's too expensive. That's too much effort. So I want you to be prepared with the checklist and a clipboard so you can make the right decision during that in-person interview right then and there, whether you're going to hire a person or not. So let's recoup. Let's reiterate the 4 steps of how to hire somebody very easily. Step number 1, for the position that you're hiring, create a non-negotiable, honest, and very clear list of your expectations. Now, I'm not talking about the job description. I'm talking about how much do you want to pay them, the hours you want them to work. Is that, be honest, is it remote or it has to be in the office position? Do you want them to be cross-trained? Do you want them to have a certain educational level? These things are important. Put them in. Boom, 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 boom. Keep your ad very short, direct, and to the point. That's step number 1. Step number 2, create a questionnaire that reiterates that ad that you will copy paste and send to people who applied to your ad and request them to respond with yes or no answers to this questionnaire. What this does is it further filters all the applicants into those that are actually paying attention, that it's a second opportunity for them to read the requirements and actually agree in writing that, yes, I've seen how much you pay or what the requirement is and the commute. I've looked where the office is and I'm a yes. Okay. And they took the time to do that. Then step number 3, you schedule a video interview. You schedule a video call with these applicants. And like I said, a lot of apps, including Indeed now, have this option. So you don't have to give them your phone number. And during this video interview, you come into this video interview with a checklist. It makes a video interview go for like 10 minutes because you're a boom, 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 boom. Do you do this? Are you familiar with this? How's the commute? Do you have little babies? Okay, what's the childcare situation? What if they get sick? What are you going to do? Where do you live? Boom, 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 right? You're in school. Do you have a second job? So you get like where you had him, right? And then step number 4 is if they pass that video interview, you invite them to in-person interview. And again, you have a clipboard with a checklist so that you can make the decision at the end of that in-person interview very easily. And that, my friends, is how you simply and easily hire a new staff member. And if you would like more help with this, and if you would like to actually have those pre-made questionnaires and see what an ad looks like, an efficient ad looks like for every single position. If you want help with developing a checklist, that's what I do inside of No Stress DDS Mastermind. What it is, it's my 6 months group program, specifically designed for women dentists, where I help you build lives that you love. The new cohort starts in July. So stay tuned, stay around. I'm going to leave a link below in the show notes to sign up for the Mastermind interest list. And I will see you there. Bye.